Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. We are back with another Star Wars Unlimited deck tech, and today we are doing a deck update. As you can see here, we have Jyn, and some of you, if you've been long-time subscribers to the channel, may remember that my previous Jyn tempo deck looked a little bit like this. And the whole point of the deck was to disrupt their hand, put all their units back into their hands, and win with Millennium Falcons and whatever Han Solos, whatever units we could stick. This deck just didn't work. I'm sorry if you can hear the lawnmower. It's lawnmower day. However, the ability to play Cunning at 4 resources is too good to pass up. The card is basically broken at 4, so we wanted to try to make a deck work. This is the update to that list. We got some new toys to play with in Shadows of the Galaxy. So as you can see here, Jyn has been one of my pet decks since I pulled this showcase, and I like having a showcase to play with. So we got Jyn and Chewie, but if you don't know what Jyn is, she is, and I don't blame you because she's not a popular leader. Jyn is Jyn Ursa Resisting Oppression is a rebel leader with an action of attack with a unit. The defender gets -1/-0 for this attack. More often than not, this is just a blank text box. She deploys at 6 as a 4/7. Then it's a little bit better when she is deployed because your friendly unit attacks get to trade a little bit better because the defenders do get -1/-0 for all of your units attacking. So Jyn's front side is basically blank text box, but the back side helps occasionally. But that's Jyn Ursa. And then we are just running a 30-point yellow base. It doesn't matter which. So we're going to start off with the upgrades, or the changes to the units. And first off, we've got Fugitive Wookiee running a full playset. The bounty here is largely irrelevant. He comes down so early that a lot of times they don't have another unit to exhaust. You make sure you attack with your other unit first, and then if they kill him, then they can't exhaust it. Or if you attack with this unit, you get your damage in, and then they exhaust your other unit. It does kind of time lock you a little bit, but having a 3/3 body for 2 in yellow is nice, so we run that as a playset. We are running a playset of L337. A lot of times this unit will get smuggled for the smuggle effect to recapture a unit later, to release a unit later if it gets captured. I don't think there's a lot of capturing going on, but there is a little bit. Basically, this is a 2/2 body for 2, and then it gets shielded if you don't capture a unit. So it's just a strong turn 1 play. C3PO is the best card in the deck that's not named Cunning. We are running a staggering 23 2-drops. So if you play C3PO and you name anything other than 2, it's your fault when you miss. If you name 2, well, you got half your deck. You're 50-50 on hitting. So C3PO is very strong, draws you a lot of cards, lets you see a lot of action. 1/4 body. Cloud Rider, just early removal essentially. It's a 2 resource, 3 damage unit. If you stick it, great. If it doesn't stick, also great. You're taking something with it. We have reduced the number of Bodhi Rooks to 2. Bodhi Rook is strong, but he's not that strong. We want to see some number of Bodhi Rook to deal with cards like Overwhelming Barrage and the like. But we have another tool that helps with that a little bit in Kira. Kira is a 4 resource 3/5 that when played you look at an opponent's hand and name a card. While this unit is in play, each card with that name costs 3 more for your opponents to play. Overwhelming Barrage is very good at 5, not so good at 8. So they have to deal with Kira to be able to play on curve. That makes it very nice for us. Cantina Bouncer, same. We like Cantina Bouncer. Just a very good 5-drop, 3/5 that bounces stuff around. We have some new toys to help play with a lot of our Enter the Battlefield effects as well. We have cut the number of Han Solos down to 2. We don't expect to see we don't expect to see 7 resources very often. If we do, we have already lost, probably. Han can help us catch back up. We like to see some number of Han in the deck. There was some thought about swapping that over to Lando Calrissian, because being able to pick up a couple of your resources, it allows you to basically smuggle a Cunning. You can tuck a Cunning and get it back later to help push damage through. Ultimately, Han just beats out Lando. That's it for our ground units. Now let's move into space. We're still running 9 units. We have moved the Azatug Liberator gunship to our sideboard in favor of the Cartel Turncoat. We're running that as a full playset. It's a 1 resource 2/3 with a bounty of draw a card. That bounty is significant, but so is having a 1 resource 2/3 on turn 1. If you get 2 of these out on turn 1, it's very strong. So we can sideboard this out if we need to. It's also an underworld, whereas Azatug Liberator is not the end of the world, but it does come into play. We have McClunky in the deck, so. Pirate Starfighter. This one is a 2 resource 2/4 with raid 1 that you have to bounce a friendly unit when it comes into play. So you can bounce something like a Cartel Turncoat after you attack with it. You swing with your Cartel Turncoat, bounce it with a Pirate Starfighter, play it back out. Pirate Starfighter has a lot of tools in this deck to be able to be played on turn 2 effectively, or played later to bounce a something relevant. So we're on a full playset there, and then full playset of Millennium Falcon. This is our space finisher. 3/4 as a finisher sounds silly, but in this deck it does do a lot of heavy lifting. So we're running a playset there. That's our space units. Now we are also running a very high amount of events. This deck runs on events. It tries to tempo your opponent out with board control, stuff like that. The first way we're doing that with the new cards is McClunky. We have a lot of underworld units. This bounces an underworld unit, allowing us to replay it and dealing 3 damage to a unit. So this is removal. It's allowing us to reuse some of our enter the battlefield plays, stuff like that. So full play set there. Surprise Strike should be in every yellow deck. It's one of the best yellow cards. Dealing 3 extra damage for 2 resources is absurd. This one's weird, right? We don't have any Wookiees except for the 2-drop the 2-drop wanted Wookiee or fugitive Wookiee. So most of the time we're not going to get a +2/+0, but this card does still put your opponent to a pretty heavy decision. If you play your turn out right, they could be very close to dead and not be able to take an attack, and then they're going to give you 6 resources, up to 6 resources. So you can basically get a full second turn. It kind of time walks your opponent. If they don't give you those 6 resources, some of our bigger units can still attack into them. Getting an extra hit with a Millennium Falcon, it might not seem like a lot, but it's still 3 damage. So it's basically a second Surprise Strike. So we only run that as a 2. This one is fun. A new adventure. Bugged on Karabast right now, apparently. I used it in one of my games. I ended up losing the game anyway. It was to a Tarkin yellow. But I used it to steal a Lurking TIE Fighter. That's not what the card does. So 2 resource, return a non-leader unit that costs 6 or less to its owner's hand, then its owner may play it for free. Again, 2 resources to get a second use out of your Cantina Bouncers or any of your other enter the battlefield effects is amazing. This card is very strong. So we're running that as a playset. We've replaced Waylay with Spare the Target just because Spare the Target is better Waylay in this deck. If there are bounties to be had, this gets them, whereas Waylay doesn't, so that's a no-brainer upgrade. The namesake card of the deck is Cunning, full playset, super strong, still one of the best cards to play in, one of the main reasons to be double yellow. More often than not, we're choosing Bounce Exhaust, but a lot of the times if you're doing this on your leader flip turn, we're doing +4/+0, and then just smashing. This plays very well on turn 6 with a new adventure. I'm sorry, not a new adventure. Let the Wookiee win. Because you can give +4/+0 to something and then make them choose whether to give you 6 resources or give you an extra attack with a buffed unit. So that's where that card, that's where Let the Wookiee Win has won me over in a non-Wookiee deck. It's because of Cunning. And your turn 6 flip turn is with Jyn, and Let the Wookiee Win does not say non-leader. So it says, you ready a friendly unit. So now you're swinging for 8 twice, or getting 6 resources back. You swing for 8 once, get 6 resources back. So it's very strong mini combination. And then the final card in the deck is Final Showdown. We're running this as a pair. Ready each unit you control. At the start of the regroup phase, you lose the game. If this lands on your Jyn turn with any number of other units, you're probably in a pretty good position to win the game. Obviously, do the math, because if you do the math wrong, you lose the game. So that is the upgraded deck list. I do have some Karabast play for it. I did get a couple of decent wins. And I lost a game to Tarkin Yellow that I think I should have won. I mentioned that I new adventured a Lurking TIE Phantom, and it stole it. We walked that back. I'm going to include that gameplay, but I think I made a lot of misplays in that game that I should have won it. We're going to take a look at the sideboard here. Like I said, we moved the Aztec Liberators and dropped one of them. So we now have 2 Aztec Liberators in the sideboard, 3 Chewies for the aggro matchups, because having a 3/6 Sentinel that gets to attack back is nice. 2 Confiscates because of all of the upgrades in the set right now, and 3 Spark of Rebellions to just take the upgrades out of their hand. So that's the deck. If you like what you saw here, go ahead and smash that like button. If you want to find a way back for more Star Wars Unlimited content, go ahead and smash that sub button. If there's anything you think that I'm missing in this deck, if you think Leia was better in this deck than L337, go ahead and throw a comment down. Let me know what you think. As always, thank you for watching. Have a great day.
from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason.